All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi's Stadium for the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little recap of everything that happened here on Sunday Night Football as the Niners are going to roll to a victory. We're here in the last minute of the game right now. 49ers with a 20-10 lead. We should tell you we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. Use promo code Larry and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. Let's talk a little bit about this game. Niners and Falcons. Now, Atlanta scored first on a late first quarter, early second quarter drive. It was a 19-play, 60-yard drive that lasted almost 11 minutes. And Parker Romo kicked a 38-yard field goal to give the Falcons a 3-0 lead. End of first quarter, that was right at the end of the first quarter, it was a 0-0 tie. That was in the second quarter. Atlanta in the first quarter, though, had total yards edge of 77-42. Time of possession advantage from 10:26 to 4:34 for the 49ers. So that was the first quarter. In the early second quarter, Atlanta jumped out to the 3-0 lead. Jones would then throw a pass to Juwan Jennings, and he tipped it into the air. It was intercepted by Caden Ellis. So the Niners had their first turnover, and things were not looking good. The Niners in the second quarter went on a 13-play, 80-yard drive. It was called the Christian McCaffrey drive. McCaffrey scored from 1 yard out. There was a 13-play drive. It was the Niners' third offensive possession. McCaffrey had 8 touches of the 13 plays on the drive, and the Niners went up 7-3. Niners only had 4 total possessions in the first half. Bryce Huff had a huge strip sack of Michael Penix. Alfred Collins fell on the ball with the fumble recovery at the Atlanta 40-yard line. That allowed the Niners to kick in 55-yard Eddie Pinheiro field goal. Eddie at that point 16 for 16. 55-yarder made it 10-3 49ers. And that's where it stayed at halftime, 10-3 49ers. Atlanta was at the 22-yard line. But then there was an intentional grounding penalty against Penix. There was a runoff, so Atlanta, unfortunately for them, could not score at the end of the first half. They were going in for a tying touchdown or possibly a field goal to make it 10-6. Instead, they get nothing out of it. So the Niners scored going into the locker room, and they scored coming out of the locker room. The first possession of the third quarter, the Niners scored another Eddie Pinheiro field goal to make him 17 for 17 with the 49ers. It was a 43-yarder to make it 13-3, 11-play, 43-yard drive for the Niners there in the third quarter. Atlanta scored on a 6-play, 48-yard drive to make it 13-10. Penix found Bijan Robinson for 10 yards out, and he ran in for the touchdown to make it 13-10. So it was pretty much anybody's ball game. The Niners' sixth possession ended when Kyle Juszczyk was tackled for a loss for -2 on 3rd and 1 from the Niners' own 32-yard line. That gave the ball back to the Falcons. Huge call in this game, I thought, was the no call on the deep ball. It was really a bad call. Mac Jones went to Demarcus Robinson, and it was a bad call. Mike Hughes was face guarding. It was clearly PI. They didn't call it. The Niners were forced to punt. So Atlanta gets the ball back, and they're moving the ball down the field, looking to go ahead for the lead score, and Chase Lucas had a PBU on 4th and 1 on a Penix pass to Drake London at the Niners' 35-yard line. Would have kept the drive alive, would have potentially led to them with taking a lead touchdown. Instead, Lucas, who's just been a huge playmaker with the big play PBU, and it was a turnover on downs. And then the 49ers put it away in the fourth quarter, an 11-play, 64-yard drive. CMC went in from 4 yards out to make it 20-10 49ers. And here we are in the final minute of the game, and it's 20-10 49ers. Falcons trying to come back. What was the big story in this game? Bijan Robinson. The Niners totally shut down Bijan Robinson. His longest run tonight, I believe, was 8 yards. He's got 14 carries right now for 40 yards. Niners took care of the football. The Niners offensive line did a nice job. Jake Brendel went out of this game with a hamstring pull, and Matt Hennessy had to come off the bench and start step in, I should say, for Brendel, and then played the entire second half. But Chase Lucas with the big defensive play, Bryce Huff with a huge defensive play to the strip sack of Penix was absolutely massive. The 49ers, held in the red zone. I mean, they really did. They did a nice job. Pinheiro with a couple more field goals. I mean, he has just been fantastic. And then the 49ers are putting it away right now. Tatum Bethune and Mikael Williams with a combo sack. Bethune, by the way, stepping in for Fred Warner. What a night. What a night for Tatum Bethune. Over 10 tackles. I think he just had a sack right there. There's a minute 42 left, and it's 20-10 49ers. But Tatum Bethune played his butt off. What a game for Tatum Bethune. He was fantastic. Really, really good. Anytime you can step in for Fred Warner and make double-digit tackles and get a sack, and you can hold down Bijan Robinson, who might be the best back in football. The longest run all night for Bijan was 8 yards, 14 carries for 40 yards. They did a nice job on Drake London. They really minimized this thing. The 49ers, credit Robert Saleh. He gave them a bunch of different looks. There was all kinds of movement up front. The Niners gave the Falcons offensive line trouble. It looked like the Falcons had an advantage in that they have Bergeron on their offensive line and Lindstrom, who's a second-team AP All-Pro last year, I should say, All-Pro. The Niner defensive tackles held their own. I really thought, Jordan Elliott, Alfred Collins, Kalia Davis really did a nice job. So good win for the 49ers as they go to 5-2 after 7 games. Playing out the last minute and 47 right now. Falcons have the ball at roughly midfield, trying to get that score, but the Niners have a 2-score advantage, and this game's going to the 49ers. So Penix made some really nice throws. He came out, he's throwing lasers. He's got a big-time arm. But the Niners ran the ball. We talked about this in the pre. We thought it was going to be a low-scoring game. It was pretty low-scoring, 20-10 right now. What was the difference in the game? The 49ers ran the ball effectively with Christian McCaffrey, and the Falcons, who came in running the ball incredibly well with Bijan Robinson, were shut down. The Niners ran the ball and stuffed the run. Tatum Bethune, with a really, really nice game. Without Fred Warner was in the house, by the way. That was cool to see. At one point, they showed Fred on the big screen, and Fred was like, "Let's go, let's go, let's go!" And he had his foot all wrapped. He's got his little baby there with him and his wife, and it was really cool. And it fired up the crowd. It really fired up the crowd, and I thought that was kind of a cool moment. But the key to football: blocking and tackling. Run the ball, stop the run. The Niners did that tonight. They ran the ball with McCaffrey. They stayed with it. McCaffrey was spectacular. Christian McCaffrey, when you sit there and say, how did the Niners win this game? Their third possession, they just said Christian McCaffrey left, Christian McCaffrey right, and he just made play after play after play. So credit the Niner offensive line. They did a nice job against a really good Atlanta defensive line. Credit McCaffrey. Credit Bryce Huff, Alfred Collins, Chase Lucas, Tatum Bethune. And the Niners have just stopped the Falcons here at the end of the game. A deep pass to London goes incomplete against Lenore. Turnover on downs, and the 49ers are just a couple plays of taking a knee from putting this one on ice. Great win for the Niners, probably as good a win as they've had all year. This Falcon team was rolling. They came in, and the Niners said, no, we're going to run the ball, we're going to stop the run, we're going to win the game. And that's exactly what happened. All right, I'm going to go into the locker room, talk to Shanahan, talk to the players. I'll be on KMBR in the post-game, and then, of course, you can join me on the Krug Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. And we'll have the Krug Show breakdown in about an hour or so from now. And we want to see all you guys on YouTube. So thanks to everybody. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thanks to Sleeper. The 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. Use that promo code Larry. Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions apply. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.